John Olivier here, your host of Serious and Silliness Outcast and Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. We have a great new sponsor, Jersey Alternative Medicine, Anti-Aging and Hormone Replacement Clinic. Just go to the website, njaltmeds.com. That's njaltmeds.com. Or you give them a call at 609-977-2981. So what do? They actually offer a variety of services like TRT replacement, medical weight loss, female sexual health, male sexual health, injectable peptides, anti-aging treatment. And this is all under the eyes of an actual physician. You fill out an intake form. You go over symptoms with a clinician, and they will customize medication that you could take. And the best part is it's prescribed by a physician, and it is delivered to your doorstep in all 50 states. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your home. That is njaltmeds.com, 609-977-2981. Go to Jersey Alternative Medicine now and get healthy. All right. We had some technical difficulties, but we're back. Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding. We're going to be doing the Olympia and all the bullshit that's happening, but we got Fred Biggie Smalls with us today. What's up, Fred?
What's going on? Thanks for having me on.
So you just got married, man?
No, I just got engaged.
Oh, how old are you? What are you, nuts?
49.
God damn.
Just turned 49 yesterday.
Is this your first marriage?
No, third.
Third marriage?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
All right, man.
3 times the charm.
I hope so, for your sake. Well, we had Lee Priestong. Last week. He's married 5 times. So.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, this is the first one that's not like, date for a few months and then jump into it. We've been dating for 3 years, so I feel like this is the right one.
Yeah, that's usually how it, It's kind of like it's like kind of an apprenticeship. You got to give these girls an apprenticeship before you make them get the job. You can't.
Yeah, she can tolerate my bullshit. She's good,
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, so congrats to Fred. And when is the wedding?
April 25th.
Oh, very nice, brother. Very nice.
Yeah. Right before Masters Olympia prep.
Okay, we're just gonna fucking start over, right? I don't want to edit shit. Beer League Warriors apparel. Now you can go to their website, beerleaguewarriors.com, and get your shirts and workout gear. Fred, what size shirt are you?
2X, 3X, depending on the cut.
All right, so we'll just do 3X. Okay. It is a new sponsor. It's a small company, workout clothes. And
nice.
So I'm just going to get everybody who comes on the show a shirt and send it to you guys. And, like, share, subscribe to this channel, so on and so forth. Last week was a crazy week because we had Lee Priest and we had Greg Valentino, and they took over the show. We didn't even talk anything about bodybuilding. It was just, and Lee must really like me now. He messages me like pretty much every day on WhatsApp.
Does it?
Yeah, he loves it. Loves it. He even told me that he has a song picked out for us.
Nice.
Yeah, and I don't know.
That's how it starts.
You know that song? You know the song he picked was, so what's that? Somewhere out. He sent it to me. He's like, "This is our song." I'm like, Jesus Christ. And he had surgery on his eye. I don't know if you saw it. His eye's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got like a thing over his eye. He had surgery on his eye, and it's basically so we could see better out of that eye. I don't know what the fucking issue is, but anyway. So Fred, before we had technical difficulties, we were talking about 2 things, but we're gonna just we're gonna still talk about the Nick Walker thing because I want your opinion and I want Dorian's opinion. What do you? Nobody really knows why he pulled out. It's a big mystery. Everybody's talking. People are saying that they know. What makes a bodybuilder at that level pull out a week before the show?
Risk reward, is the risk of going up there and looking not your best going to hurt your stock more than just not doing the Olympia. What's right and what's wrong set aside. If he goes up there and looks and puts on a poor performance, doesn't look good, he's going to get crucified. people can say whatever they want about him not showing up this year, but as long as he shows up looking great at the next show, he'll be fine. And because people's recency bias is so big, you know, like people don't really care what you did last year. Hell, we forget that, you know, who was in the top 7 2 years ago. You know, what we remember is what's going on now. And true historians and people that are like old school will say, oh, I would have never done that in my day. But it's a different day. These guys are controlling their own brands. You know, back in the day, the supplement companies and the magazines controlled us. These guys control their own brands. You know, they make more from YouTube than any competition or any sponsors are going to pay them. Especially Nick. This man is sponsored by everybody. So as long as he cleared it with his sponsors and they say, I'm cool, as long as you keep bringing in the views and the commission and people buying the product, they're going to still pay him.
Right.
But if he goes up there, the same people that are saying you shouldn't have pulled out, or the same people are going to say, oh, he didn't do what he should have done. He didn't work hard enough. He didn't this, he didn't that. So I'm not saying I would have done that, but I do understand.
What about you, Dorian?
Yeah, Fred sums it up well. You know, if he doesn't show up, you know, spot on, people are going to crucify him. So I don't think it's a bad idea for him to pull out. But, you know, that's, you know, why he did it. But what's the actual physical reason is kind of what I'm interested in. There's obviously a problem going on with his health. You know, what is it? I'm not sure exactly what it is because we've seen that video of him and he does look like he's like not in prep mode in his big midsection, a little puffy in the. I don't know. I would think he knew this was going to happen. He may be overate and ate a bunch, just like you would after a show. But
Right.
it might be why he was big in the video. But I don't know what I would like to know what the actual physiological issue is with Nick.
I hope for Nick's sake that Fred's opinion is what actually happened, because then at least we know, you know, he still has a career and he could fix what he needs to fix and come back stronger for 2025.
Do you guys remember when Jay Cutler pulled out of the Olympia in 2002, citing health reasons? Because he had, you know, he looked great in 2001, thought he should have won.
That's right.
And then he came back and everyone was asking him, 2002, why didn't you do the Olympia? And he had said something about health reasons. It was an article in one of the magazines I read. And but there have been stories also where he just didn't want to do the show. He wanted to focus on the Arnold. So like the thing is, but back then he didn't control his own path because the magazines controlled it. Everybody told him what you had to do. It's a much different day with bodybuilding, thankfully, because the guys are making more money now. You know, so I just think that, you know, you can crucify him and say, back in the day, we wouldn't have done this and that, but it was a different day. Everything evolves, everything changes, you know, and I think, you know, if something's going on with his health, then he's doing the right thing by removing himself because—
Absolutely, 100%.
He's so young.
Right.
He's got a ton of time. So if he comes back blazing next year, looking amazing, no one's going to care.
Well, what bothered me the most is, you know, the other YouTubers that are saying, "Oh, he's got kidney problems. He's done. His race is too expensive. He's got health problems. Fake gear." Greg Doucette was the worst. I mean, he really tore into him, and to me that was poor taste because you don't know what this all he said was, "I'm not doing it. I'm really upset. My body's not responding." Matt Jensen alluded to the fact that his body reacts better under chaos. I don't know exactly what that means, but it seems like they just glanced over what the reason was, right? So you really don't know. Okay.
So give me a minute to break this down with what everybody just said, okay?
Right.
And start with the fact of what Matt Jensen said. His body responds better under chaos. Okay, so that's a quick fix, right? Add chaos.
It just punch him in the face.
Chaos to his head, right? I mean, tell him the government's watching him. Tell him his girl's with the next door neighbor, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. His wife is banging everybody in the neighborhood.
You're a good coach. Incorporate some chaos, right? Now, let's just say let's just say he wasn't responding well and he wasn't looking good. And I don't agree with just pulling out and saying, hey, because he pulled out last year. So it's not just this year he's missing. He's missing 2 years. Now it'll be 3 years before he gets to an Olympia stage. And what if he's not ready next year? You're going to pull out again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't use that as an excuse. Like, we're athletes, dude. Guys get there, you do your best. Nobody knows how you're going to peak. And maybe his body, dude, I remember seeing Victor Martinez 2 weeks before a show. You wouldn't even have known he was dieting. And then the fucking guy gets on stage and he's shredded. Like,
Yeah.
His body just held on to water until last minute, until his body really matured. But he knew how to do it. So I don't necessarily agree with that, where, hey, you're not looking good, just pull out for the sake of pulling out. Now, I don't really think that's the case. Okay. I do think there's some underlying issues, because he was way too swollen in that video for him just to have decided 2 days before. Because we all know, dude, we've been there. Dude, you could pig out for 3 weeks after a show and you're still ripped. You know, like,
Right.
he looked like there wasn't a vein on his body.
Yeah.
So I do think there's some underlying issues. And again, like we said before, it's not our business. You know, it's his business. But the fact that this is 2 years in a row that he's pulling out, you know, losing your value, or if you come in off, are you going to be critiqued? Well, he's going to be critiqued for not showing up. You know, so there's going to be critique. There's going to be people that are in favor. Yeah, Nick, do whatever you got to do what's right, take care of yourself. And there's going to be people on the other side of the spectrum that knock him down for it. But the reality is, only he knows the truth, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, based upon what the excuse that Jensen said, you know, that he responds better in chaos, like, dude, what the fuck does that mean, dude?
I'm not.
Go run in the middle of the road. Like, go, you know, like, go party for it. You know, go date a stripper, you know, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it's true.
We all know how to incorporate chaos in our lives. We've all been there.
Sure.
Well, weigh in on this, and then we'll move on to what the lineup is going to look like without those 4 guys that dropped out this year.
Yeah, I agree on what everybody said though at the same time. But it's like it's his life. Whether he want to give us the explanation or not, he ain't got to. He his own man. He don't owe nobody no explanation, nothing but his sponsors and Olympia. And Matt Jensen already know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, it makes you wonder, just think about it. He didn't come in like we thought he was gonna come in for New York.
Right.
That's the first thing. Then you pull
He still did it.
Like, I'm wondering,
Yeah, he still won.
like y'all, everybody wondering the same thing. Is it really a health reason, or is it a mental thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have couldn't have had his mind into this, like he's saying he did. That could be hindering him. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I ain't gonna push too hard or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or you never know. But my thing is, if it's person, it's person. You know what I'm saying? Everybody want to know, but do we deserve to know?
No,
Bo just touched a very interesting point, okay?
Hunger.
Because Nick is one of those guys, dude. He has his crew, he has his following, he has his supporters. He's a family-oriented guy. He's moved back home and back and forth, this and that. Girl issues, no girl issues, whatever. What I see was Nick's always been one of those guys who's been talked about as being one of the top guys competing for that title, right? This was the first year. Now, we've all done reviews on the Olympia. I don't think anybody had him better than 5th. And dude, that could have banged him up in the head and maybe
nobody had him winning. Like nobody but Jay Cutler had him coming in and doing his thing.
Right.
Everybody like that's person. Nick Young, don't get me wrong, man. Nick Young, I don't care who you is. When you young like that, I can handle the pressure. Can you really handle that pressure? You might can deal with it for a year or two, but when it's constantly getting pushed on you like that right there, that pressure is something else. It'll mess with you psychologically. And if you ain't talking to the guys or the people around you and really ain't communicating and getting that stuff off your chest, man, you know, in bodybuilding, once something mess with you psychologically, it's going to show on your body.
He could have broke. He could have mentally broke. Especially people.
You guys hit on a really good point.
People were putting Fitzwater ahead of him in the lineup.
Yeah.
And dude, that's a newbie. Yeah, Nick's already, not that he's a seasoned veteran, but Nick's a veteran already. He's been around for years.
But look how he came up. That's a really good point. Look how he came up. He came up the golden boy. He won everything, right? He won. He turned pro in 2020. He destroyed the fucking. Did he do the Nationals? Yeah, he did the Nationals. Pretty sure.
My only pushback on that is, if you really remember what they were saying about Nick after he didn't. Remember, he worked with Dom Cardone.
Yeah.
And he worked with what's the guy that did BS in bodybuilding or whatever? Yeah. All those guys were ripping him as an amateur, saying what he wasn't going to be. And it wasn't until he proved them wrong by taking top 4. And then when he took top 4 to Chicago Pro, then Sergio and everybody else had something to say about how he wasn't real. And then he won the Arnold. And then he left.
They won the New York Pro first, and I won that.
Yeah, right. He won. Right. Well, no, all that context about him not being real was right after New York Pro. He won it because the lineup was sort of watered down because it was COVID, right? Coming out of COVID, and then Sergio was talking all that trash going into the Arnold because they had it earlier than Olympia that year, and then he won that, and nobody had anything to say. So he's persevered through the constant doubt. Right. So I don't know if I buy that he can't handle the doubt, because before he had accomplished anything, he had already persevered through all of that. So I don't know if I buy that he's not mentally tough enough to handle it. I think, one thing that people aren't talking about, when you're moving around constantly, you're out of your routine. You're out of your routine. And routine is huge for every bodybuilder. Yeah. So where I get my stuff from, how I cook my meals, where I train at, who I train with, all that kind of stuff, who's in my surroundings. So there could be a myriad of reasons why he's not deciding to do this year, but I don't think it boils down to one thing. And I think it's pretty honest. His body just wasn't responding, whether it was health reasons, mental reasons, lifestyle, whatever it's going to be, his body just wasn't responding. And like I said before, he looked at his following, his camp, the people around him, and said, what do you think's the best decision? Go for it and maybe not be 100%, or pull back and give it a go next year. And I don't have an opinion whether it's right or wrong. I see both sides.
Right.
Well, what if next year doesn't come? Next year's not promised.
Oh, brother, we all know that. I mean, look at Mark Alvisi. Mark Alvisi was hot off the presses in 2011, I believe, and he qualified by beating Essa, which no one thought was going to happen, which was bullshit call, but he didn't do it, and he never made it back. He never made it back. So it's not promised. So from that standpoint, sure, but we don't know what it's like to be top 3 at the Olympia. He does.
Look, as far as it goes at this point, it's all speculation. We really don't know. He hasn't really said what the problem is. What
was his best placing?
3rd.
No.
Yep.
No, 3rd. Yeah, he's right.
Yeah, he was top 3.
Yeah, he was 3rd, and
2022 was 3rd.
Yeah, that's right. And that was Dan Sampson. That was the year he won the Arnold, and then Sampson won the Arnold the next year. And then Sampson came in 3rd when he dropped out with the leg issue. But it's all speculation. We really don't know. We might never know because it might be personal. He might not want to tell the public what it is, and that's up to him, so on and so forth. Everybody's going to have their opinion on it. But the good thing is we have a lot of new blood.
Oh, yeah.
We got a lot of new blood, and we got 4 people that can't do the show. So we had Nick, we got Tony Burton, we got Beirut Stabani, Nate and Diaz, 4 guys who are doing the show. You got some old blood like John De La Rosa and Akeem Williams. We've got a lot of new blood coming in, and the fact that Brandon Curry, of course, but the fact that this new blood's coming in and all those guys are out gives these new guys an opportunity to really show what they're made of, right? They can really make a name for themselves. Guys like Martin Fitzwater, guys like Mo Fuda, Rafael Brandao, Andrew Jack. These guys, even though they've been around for the last 2 or 3 years, they're technically still new blood, right? I am really interested in seeing how this unfolds, right? I'm still. I sent you guys the lineup. I still think the top three guys are going to be the top three guys. I don't think those top three guys are budging. You might flip them around a little bit, but I still think it's going to be Derek, Hottie, Sampson. I don't think anybody's breaking that top three this year.
No, you count Andrew out, huh?
Yeah, I don't think Andrew is going to be able to beat a Sampson, a Hottie, or me, or a Derek.
I'm gonna tell you that you say that, but I'm gonna tell you it's a possibility that can happen this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'll tell you positive.
Agree.
Look at it now. Look at it like this right here. Everybody talk about how good of a shape Derek Lawson is. But the best shape on stage is who? Andrew Jack. The best abs on stage is Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
From the front, ain't nobody beating him now. Ain't nobody beating him from the front, period. From the side, he loses a little thickness, okay. But that's one shot with the side chest. But he done came back and added thickness on there. This side tricep shot is money. The
Yeah,
back,
absolutely.
okay, you can beat him on the back if you don't look at the glutes. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody want to make bodybuilding into a glute show now when you turn around from the back. It's not a glute show, it's a muscle show.
Yeah.
Andrew Jack got the muscle, but will it be conditioned enough to stand next to them other top three guys right there? He got Chris Aceto as a coach, so that's the same one about Sean Rogan.
That's for sure. That's
and
the cool one.
And won the Olympia at what, 43 years old?
Yeah.
It can happen now.
Dorian, what's your opinion on that?
I think Jack, about Jack's glutes. I mean, I just competed with him in Texas. I got a good eye for this.
Oh, that's right.
Difference between like Hottie and the way that their glutes are, they've got all the striation and the shape to it. It's like Andrew's got the conditioning, it's there, but he just doesn't have that that striated shape where it looks really gnarly. But I think Andrew Jack looked incredible when I saw him in Texas. I think he can be anywhere between first and fourth.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sticking to my guns. Here's the reason why I'm sticking to my guns. At the Olympia, at that level, that all counts. It all counts. At the Olympia, at that level, from first to fourth place, first to fifth place, all that stuff. At that point, you're splitting hairs, and if you're missing something, you're not gonna break the top three, the top four.
Let me remind you of one thing. Phil had Sean beat on a lot of shots, Sean Roden, but Sean Roden's shape flowed so well.
Yeah,
and when you walk in the room, the man who's most imposing is Andrew Jack and Sampson. So, no, don't get me wrong. I like Derek a lot. I mean, I follow Derek YouTube. I know him. I like him a lot. And I love seeing him. I think he's a great champion. I really do. But when it comes to symmetry round, Andrew Jack and Sampson beat him there, or they're at least on the same tier. The only shots that he definitively wins against those two are the back shots. Now, Hottie, I'm interested to see what he looks like up there because he's not necessarily a shape guy. He just gets so gnarly conditioned. But if he's the only one up there in that condition and there's all these beautiful shapes, they got a choice to make. Yeah. So, and then no one's talking about Brandon Curry. And what people forget is he was fourth place after getting out of the hospital the night before.
Right.
So we're not talking about him, but he compares to Hottie and Derek very well.
Yep.
Very well. So I am excited about this show. I think it's going to be crazy. I'm not rooting against anybody. Obviously, I'm a Chris Aceto guy.
We got to give our opinions. It's not like I'm a fan of these guys. Really.
Well, no, I'm telling you. I think if I had to bet, I'd say Derek's winning, but I would not bet against Andrew Jack in second, and Hottie in third, and Sampson in fourth.
Yeah, Jay. Before I give my opinion, what do you think?
I think it's Derek's to win. It's Derek's to lose, I think. I think it'll be close between him and Sampson. I think Sampson's going to edge out Hottie. I think Sampson's got a shot to win this also. So your top two are going to be Sampson and Derek. I would say Hottie in third, just because he's won before, dude. He's got that conditioning. I still think Andrew Jack, with the density of those top three guys, Andrew Jack still is lacking a little bit. And Fred, you remember Tony Freeman? He had
Yeah.
beautiful shape, beautiful structure, but he was a little lankier in certain poses. And when you get to that level, if you look at Tony Freeman by himself,
perfect.
dude, man, this guy
Perfect
could
example.
yeah, this guy could win any show. But then you put him next to, Cutler, or you put him next to those other guys at the time, and you saw where a little bit was lost. So in comparisons, I think Andrew will get knocked down a little bit there. I think Andrew's got a great shot at a fourth place spot. I think, battling now between fifth and sixth, with maybe now with Nick being gone, I would put Brandon up there, and I would probably bump Martin Fitzwater in that mix.
Over Rafael Brando?
This is going to be
Fitzwater-
some. This is going to be some show.
So
I know, it's awesome, man.
Brando's impressive, right? And I think Martin Fitzwater comes alive in the poses during the quarter turns and stuff, and in transition. I could see where Brandano beats him out, but in the poses itself, Martin really shines. It's in transition where you kind of turn the other way.
See, I feel like at the Olympia, what ends up happening, the people with the best shape and density always stand out.
Right.
And if you don't have that when you initially come out, it's like even if you can beat someone shot for shot, if your silhouette and your thickness doesn't stand out, it's like you almost get pushed aside and then you're making up ground.
Yeah.
Not saying it can't happen.
Well, also, if Hakeem is in fucking shape,
Amen.
if Hakeem is dialed in, he could be right in that top 5 mix.
Absolutely. He's got a lot of muscle, a lot of density.
If Hakeem nails it, he could be at the lower end, maybe 5 or 6. But I don't see him breaking into the top 4.
No, I agree. 5 or 6.
No.
And you hit the nail on the head, Fred, when you said at the Olympia, shape and thickness. Yes, and that's why I'm not budging the top 3. Because those guys have the greatest. Those guys have the greatest shape and thickness. Fucking like Derek comes out, Hadi comes out, Samson comes out. Jesus Christ, these guys. And I don't think, honestly, and everybody knows, I'm a huge Samson Dowler fan, like probably the biggest Samson Dowler fan. But I got to call a circle a circle. I don't think Hadi is coming for blood because he's pissed off over last year, and that's the same reason why he did those 2 Arnolds, because he wanted to treat the world for the best. So I believe that he thinks he missed the mark last year. I also still believe that he thinks he should have won last year, and I think he's coming for blood. And that guy is no fucking joke. That guy is insane with shape, structure, size. He's got no weak points. He's shredded to the bone. You talk about nasty, hardcore conditioning. Nobody gets better than Hadi. But I think it's still going to be Derek, Hadi, and Samson. Go ahead.
Let me give you why I have a strong opinion about Andrew. When Andrew did the Arnold against Nick and Samson,
right?
Samson's not going to be much bigger than that. He's going to be improved in spots, but he's not going to be much bigger. And Andrew looked thin up there, but his shape still carried him. He looked thin up there, but his conditioning still carried him. Last year, they tried to bring him in fuller, and his conditioning wasn't on.
Right.
So if he's 20-something...
he made a lot of improvements this year, though. I'm going to give him that.
Okay. So he's 20-something pounds heavier.
Right.
And they're talking, and Chris is saying he's going to be in the same condition as the Arnold, obviously fuller.
Yeah.
I say he's over 300 pounds.
That's scary.
Yeah, they're saying over 300 pounds. Yeah.
That's scary, bro. And remember, we know everybody was saying Flex Wheeler, and Ronnie came and shocked everybody.
That's the truth.
And Andrew Jack has that type of body that can do that to show us something we've never seen before. So, again, I would probably bet on Derek, but I would not be surprised. No, I'm just going to say I think Andrew Jackson will come and surprise everybody winning. I do. I think from what I'm hearing in his camp, and I never bet against Chris. He doesn't say that often. He's very honest, and he's like, "You're gonna win." So I don't know.
That's what I try to tell y'all. Sean Roden did it, and he did it with who?
Chris Aceto. Yeah.
But then you got to look at this. Like we all talking about shape now. Look at the guys with the shape in the top 5, and one that's ain't. You got Derek.
Yep.
You got Hadi. You got Brandon. You got Martin. Look at the shape now.
Yeah,
these all short guys with that upper body, round legs with shape. Everybody they've been talking about Martin gonna come in. I know Martin gonna come in with that condition.
Oh, hell
Derek, you can't count. He the champ. You can't count the champ. But we was also told, and we heard this come out of Hunter mouth. That look that how the 2 pound brought at the Honor Classic this year would have beat Derek at the Olympia. Now you ain't thinking this man finna come in for blood with that.
Right.
Okay, but we got Brandon.
Yeah.
Big hospital ain't ate for 24 hours. That shape still put him where he last year.
Yeah.
If he come in anytime improve, look at what we got. We could have all short guys.
Yeah, right. The reason why I'm not the reason why I'm not high on Brandon this year, and I might be dead wrong, but it's just my detective mode, if you will. The reason why I'm not high on Brandon is normally one of those guys that likes to show his progress on Instagram. You know, you see him in the magic mirror. He always puts that shot at the top of the steps with posing and so on and so forth. We have not seen any progress pics from Brandon whatsoever. He's always
y'all ain't saying no.
Yeah, and so you know, if he was somebody like Sean Clarito or Andrew Jack that's always clothed, I'd be like, nah, it doesn't matter. But he's the kind of guy that's always showing his progress. So that makes me think, maybe he's hoping he's pulling it together the last couple of weeks. Maybe he's having a hard time dieting. He's getting older. So that's what makes me guess that if anybody drops out of that top 4, top 5 spot, it might be him. I mean, again, I might be dead wrong. He might be just like, he was hurt last year. Like you said, he was in the hospital, still came in. But that to me, that kind of says a lot, right? But I might be dead wrong. Now, we got a lot of young blood that might be damaged. Like our food is the Mitch Fitzwater, the Raphael Brandel, John Jewett. We got to get a lot of guys that and this is what makes the sport so exciting. That you don't know how much damage these guys are going to do, and you don't know if they're going to be able to beat the old blood like Akeem and De La Rosa. At the same time, you don't know if De La Rosa or Akeem are going to be able to keep up with the young guys, because it always seems like the older guys slowly, kind of fall out and the younger guys come up, right? It's always the same cycle.
Don't forget Hunter Labrada.
Yeah, I got John in top 10 though.
Yeah, Hunter. I think Hunter's looking for some redemption too, because everybody sullied that last victory he had, but I think he's going to look much improved in this one.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it with Hunter.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it with Hunter.
Well, we're not talking about top 5. We're talking about 6 to 10, right? So
yeah, no, I agree. It's just that I can't put my finger on it with Hunter. There is something just not impressive. I don't know what it is. To me, I know. But to me, I think it's really the difference between muscle separation and not having good muscle separation. And I
wasn't he 6th place last year?
Was he? I don't remember.
He was 6th last year.
6th or 7th or something like that. I don't remember. He didn't.
What'd you say?
He was 6th?
Yeah.
6th last year.
Not 100% sure.
Andrew Jack was 5th and Brandon was 4th.
Yeah, and Hunter was 6th, I thought.
That's right. Yes. Then, okay. Let me see. 2023, Mr. Olympia placing. Oh God. Yeah, man. One thing is, it's going to be interesting. Okay. Yeah, it was Derek, Hardy, Sampson, Brandon Curry. Come on. Where are we here?
Interesting.
Sorry, guys.
I think about Bruno.
Who?
Bruno's not going to break the top 10.
Bruno.
Yeah, he's strong as an ox, but he ain't going to break the top 10.
What show did Bruno win?
You think?
Yeah.
What was it? Last month or something like that?
Yeah, then he went did the other show right behind that.
Oh, the Legion. He did the Legion, right?
Yeah.
And lost to
Brett.
Who?
Brett Wilkins.
Brett Wilkins, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Brett looked good, but he qualifies for next year. The other thing is the 212 class. I don't think.
You got to give some love. You got to give some love to William Bonac. My man came back this year. He's gonna be in there.
Oh yeah. Hold on, man. We
Wait.
up on that.
Who? Let me see.
William Bonac.
Oh, Bonac. You're right.
Come on now.
Bonac got a point to prove.
Everybody's
in that top 10.
You're right. Everybody's talking about. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we got Bruno, who I don't think is going to make the Theo LaGuerre. I don't think he's going to make the top 10. So we got, let's see, Derek, Hottie, Sampson, Andrew Jack, Rafael Brandao, Martin Fitzwater, Hunter Obrada, Hakeem Williams, Brandon Curry, William Bonac, Baylor Stout is going to go out.
John De La Rosa.
John De La Rosa, right? He's in it. I totally forgot about fucking Bonac. You're 100% right. And you know what it is? I think it's a lot of people are forgetting about Bonac because everybody's talking about the young blood coming up. And everybody's talking about the top 1 through 4 or the top 3 or whatever. And then everybody's talking about the young guys coming up. So, but you're right. Bonac really made some serious improvements in last year this year, even though he's upper in age. You know, we'll see. I tell you, but one thing is it's going to be fucking interesting. John Jewett. The thing with John Jewett is kind of similar to the Hunter thing. It's the muscle separation. He comes in chiseled, but you don't see that separation of muscle with John Jewett. You know,
I just feel like his body doesn't flow quite as well.
Yeah.
You know, he has parts, and I think that's something to be said. Like everybody you're talking about doesn't have parts. You look at them and you're like, wow, they look great. You're not saying, oh, they have great this, they have great that. Like, they just look great. You know?
No, I agree. And that's the difference between an Olympia lineup and any other lineup in the IFBB. You know, and I've had conversations with this over. The Olympia is a whole new universe.
Absolutely.
You know, you've done the Olympia, right, Fred?
Yeah, 3 times.
3 times. And I'm sure from your perspective, you know, is it because Arns has done the Olympia? How many times did you do the Olympia? 4 times. Do you agree that it's a completely new fucking world once you're on the Olympia stage?
Yeah, it's the stress of competing in Olympia. Fred, right? It's like nothing.
Yeah, it's got more. It's not just going there, relaxing in your hotel room, and coming down to compete.
No,
you have a lot of responsibility when you're there. So
it's a constant influx, and you got to be here, you got to be there. But not just that, dude. Like like this is the biggest stage in the world. Mm-hmm. You want everything to go right, and usually nothing ever goes right. You know, so you're trying to battle those obstacles that hit you every day and time out your meals and your water intake in between this meeting and this tanning session and the weigh-ins and the press conference and all the other shit that goes along with it, and the Meet the Olympians, which is, you know, it's all fun, dude, but it's stressful. It's not like there's no relaxation time, you know, like where normally, you know, you go to a show, you settle in, you get your shit together, and you have your meeting and you get on stage. You know, this is big business.
Yeah, that was. I kept my cortisone pills with me.
It's funny because in 2015, when I thought I had the best shot to place in that top 10, I actually got called out in that top 10, and I ended up staying out through 3 rotations because I kept flattening out. But what happened is I was so hyped and so excited about what I looked like, I threw up twice that day.
Oh, Jesus.
And so when I got on stage, I just didn't have enough food in me. I mean, I came out and I got in that top 8 call out. And then from there, it was just, my body just kept fading. It was crazy.
I can't even imagine what you guys go through at that top level. And Dorian's going to go through it next year because he's going to be at the Masters Olympia in Japan next year. I can't even imagine what you guys have to go through. realizing that you're on the biggest stage in bodybuilding history. I can't even put it. I can't fathom it. But Dorian, let me get your opinion. Do you think that these young guys are going to push the older guys out, like a De La Rosa, Akeem, Bonac, or do you think the older guys are going to stay solid and then break that top 10?
Based on what you just said, some of these older guys are veterans and they're used to the pressure. So I think these new guys coming up, they're at the pressure and the stress. I think it's going to get to them. I don't know, man. I'm excited about this show. The lineup's so good. I don't know what's going to happen. But
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
Kind of an advantage for the fact that they've been there before and they've done it.
That's kind of like an unfair question, if the veterans are going to get pushed out by the younger guys, because in reality, there's guys that don't peak until later on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Dexter. He won it after God knows how many times, and Cutler had to pay his dues. So it wasn't a matter. Cutler had already done it 4 or 5 times before he got his first win, or maybe even 6. Losing to Ronnie. The same thing with Phil Heath. Phil Heath was losing for years before. But it's a matter of when are you at your best and when does your body start to go the other way. And out of these top guys, even the older guys, I don't see any of them. And maybe Brandon and I think Bonac looks great and he deserved his qualification. He deserved his win, but he's definitely not the Bonac of a couple of years ago, With all being said, I think he could still crack the top 10. Aside from him and maybe Brandon, just because of his age, but I don't think any of these guys are really declining yet. Where look, when it was time for me to walk away, dude, your body's just not responding anymore. You're done. That's it, right? But I don't know if anybody in this lineup is really there yet.
It's so different when you have bodybuilders on, and in that space or that are in that space, because there's so many other little things that go into it that somebody who's just a critic or a fan doesn't understand. They don't understand the pressure. Nobody would ever think that, a guy like Fred Smalls, a champion bodybuilder, is so excited about how good he looks that the pressure gets to him. Nobody would think that. And all these things come into play on a big stage like this, and that's all.
I'll give you one better.
Good.
We're at the Arnold, South Africa in 2016. And Dexter looks at me and goes, "Do you think I look all right?" And I'm like, "You're gonna win everything." What are you talking about? He's like, I feel like I'm a little small. I'm like, "Shut up, get up."
Fuck you,
bro, man. And it's the truth. Like he was never backstage. Like I'm gonna kill everybody. He was backstage, making sure he looked okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
There's, even the top champions, dude. Everybody has that self-doubt.
Yeah.
When you walk away, when you walk around thinking you're better than everybody, dude, that's when you lose. Because you're not. When you're looking at everybody, and because when you see yourself, you look at all your faults. You look at what you don't like. But John, to your point, it's no different than in football. Look at some of these quarterbacks that are peaking in their late 30s, and you have the guy like from Washington who's fucking beating everybody up now his first year.
Right.
Look at like a Sam Darnold who's been with God knows how many teams. Now he's with Minnesota and he's put it all together. He's learning how to put it together. So some of these guys, Brady could compete till he's 40, 41. Some guys can't. Some guys after a couple of years, dude, they start going into decline. But everybody, no sport is any different. There's boxers that do great in their 30s. There's some boxers that peak in the 20s and they're done.
Yeah.
Let's switch over.
Okay. Look at Fred.
Huh?
Yeah.
So he just turned 49. Look at him. He's still doing.
Fred is
and
still
not just that, but who would think? And let me also, Fred, I'll do you one better. Who would think with all the pressure and all the stress that you have a top athlete like a Fred Smalls who would actually get married for a 3rd time?
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
Talk about
knows now.
Talk about somebody who strives on those chaos. Holy shit. Let's switch over to the 212 because I don't want to keep you guys much longer. I don't think anybody's beating Keon. I mean, his progress photos, he looks phenomenal. I mean, he looks just like, and as much as I, known Sean since the NPC days, he used to live 5 minutes from me. in Nutley, New Jersey. I would love to see him win that again. Keon just looks like he could win this for 10 years in a row. I mean, it's just unfucking believable. The one guy that I'm interested in seeing is the guy that won the New York Pro this year. I think he's from the Ukraine.
No, he ain't in there.
He's out. He hurt his knees.
Oh, shit. You're right about that. I fucking forgot about that. Thank God I got you guys on. So I think it's gonna be the same. I think it's same lineup as last. It's gonna be Keon, Clarita, Angel Calderon, and what's his name? The guy the guy you competed with, Bo Carrot. I think it's still gonna be those top 4 guys. Mix them up. I don't see anybody else. I'm looking at the list now. I don't see anybody else. I think Keon repeats. I think Keon repeats for quite some time, to be honest with you. I don't see anybody. I've never talked about a short guy with shape. Jesus. Never seen a guy that short with that kind of shape. It's unbelievable. I don't know. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, before we get going, Jay, just Jay supplement line. I know we talked about this before, but we had technical difficulties. Sorry about that. Jay supplement line. I did prevail from coming out with a new free workout called Rogue X, but it's not going to be out for another 4 to 6
weeks. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in production now, 4 to 6 weeks. Middle of the road pre-workout, moderate stim, 285 caffeine blend, heavy on pump, heavy on focus, heavy on hydration. So you have your own electrolyte compound in there, a complete electrolyte profile, plus some pink Himalayan sea salt, which has all your extra electrolytes in it also, but 5 trademarked ingredients. And this is for your guys that don't want to get cracked out of your head. It's a good middle of the road, but a new generation type of pre-workout. Flavors are awesome. It'll be in 3 flavors. It'll be on the website and retail stores, hopefully within 4 to 6 weeks. I'm hoping 4, but probably closer to 6.
What about you, Dorian? You doing anything anytime soon, or you're just going to relax till 2025?
I never relax, bro. No, man. I was kind of thinking about my timeline and things. I think Masters Olympia is my main focus.
Yeah.
But I really compliment Fred, 49 years old, still doing it strong. And I realized I'm only going to be able to do this for so long. And like Milo Sarcev, he did all them shows. I heard he did over 70 pro shows. So
wow.
I feel like I might get a few of them in again next year.
Yeah, definitely.
But I would think Tampa Pro, Texas Pro, Masters Olympia, Legions, Olympia.
That's your goal.
Yep.
All right, cool. And did you wind up getting a new car yet or no?
Today.
What'd you get?
What'd you get?
21 Corvette. It's orange.
Nice.
Ass. Baddest car I've ever driven in my life.
Nice. You got to send me pictures. Fred, he had a Corvette. He smacked up this beautiful white Corvette. Fucking photos.
I just drove a Corvette not too long ago. I don't know how you get in it.
Yeah.
I don't know how you get in it. I was so uncomfortable in that thing, so God bless you. But it's a pretty ride.
Get in and out of it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
You got a 2020. You got a 2021 Corvette Stingray, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Dude, that car is fucking. That's the C8. That's the new one. That's insane.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, congrats, bro. That's a great car. What about you, Bo?
I ain't got nothing going on. Just trying to, yeah. I'm trying to get my little home gym going and come back strong next year. I'm thinking about the Masters 2 next year.
Hell yeah.
Why not? All right, Fred, what about you? What are you doing at the Olympia?
I'm coaching Ann Gruber. We're going to do the women's physique, and we won the Rise of Phoenix this year. So,
very nice.
She's looking, Jason will like this, she's looking incredibly conditioned. And so we're going to throw our hat into the mix this weekend, and hopefully we come out with a top 5 finish.
There you go.
And then I got an exciting program that's going to start with the state soon, where I'm working with kids coming out of incarceration between 18 and 25, teaching them fitness to get them off the streets and get them in positive mindset.
Good for you, man.
So they can start feeling better about themselves and things like that. And so I was, working on that, some nonprofit stuff over the last year. And of course we have our other businesses, but it's funny because mindset's everything, because I barely lifted all of 2024. Maybe once or twice a week the entire year. And really? as soon as that flyer came out for Masters Olympia, I was like, I haven't missed a day of training yet. And it's been a month, so I'm back on it.
Good. All
Yeah,
right, good.
Yeah.
Now, guys, don't forget, guys, me and Jay will be on the live stream RX Muscle panel. It will be me, Jay, King Kamali, and I don't know. I know Dave invited a couple other guys. I'm not sure who, but we will be there Friday night and Saturday night covering the Olympia. Big honor and a privilege and I was really, really happy when I got the invite. So it's going to be pretty fun. But it might be a long night, but it's okay. it'll be fun. So come over to RX Muscle Live feed and come check us out. It'll be pretty cool. And like, share, subscribe to this channel. God damn it! All right, Fred. Thank you very much. Thank you, fellas. I'll see you soon.
Boys.
All right, fellas.
All right. Jason.